I am convinced that all these brands are competing to see who can sell us the smallest bag for the most amount of money. Hi guys, my name is G.P.S. and welcome back to my channel. As we all know, mini bags have taken the fashion world by storm. Whether you look at new launches, the runways, or even the high street, mini bags are everywhere. And I'm pretty convinced that at this point, all these brands are competing to see who can sell us the smallest bag for the most amount of money. And at this point, it seems like Hermes is winning. But today I thought that I would share with you my top picks of mini bags that I would recommend that you pick up if you want to be super on trend, but you're not in the mood to spend, quite honestly, hundreds of dollars on a Barbie-sized backpack. Yes, I'm looking at you, Louis Vuitton. Mini bags are absolutely everywhere, but there are some that are better than others. Because you can find pieces that are tiny, very much aesthetically on trend, but still pack a punch when it comes to carrying your daily essentials. Whereas there are some that, shall I say, are completely useless. They might add a touch of luxury to your collection, but are sure to give you a headache as well, because you'll be worrying about where you can put your phone, your cards, your cash, or whatever you need when you're out and about. So if you want to wear those pieces as a necklace or purely as an accessory, then by all means, more power to you. But today I try to pick pieces that I feel fit all criteria. They don't compromise, they're very aesthetically pleasing and on trend, but they do also function as a bag. So if you want to see my top picks, then please keep on watching. If you have been following me for a while, the first bag that I'm going to show you is going to be no surprise. This is a piece that I talked about, I believe, 2 or 3 times on my channel at this point, but I definitely talked about it at least twice. And I actually talked about this in detail in one of my previous videos that I'm going to have linked up here. And it is actually the most affordable bag out of the bunch, surprisingly, because it is from Hermes. And it is the Bolide travel case. This is inspired by the Bolide bag, which is one of the most iconic bags that you can pick up from Hermes. And what's really interesting is that Hermes is a brand that tends to take their very popular bags and turn them into different pieces. So for example, let's say the Veru bag. The Veru bag is sold as a clutch. It's sold as a small, more like evening bag with a chain on it. Now it's also being sold with a more casual strap. So they do take popular pieces and they try to pretty much milk them for as long as possible and make as many variations as they possibly can. But what's interesting about the Bolide is that while it's very iconic, there are only really 2 iterations of it. The original that was released in the 1920s and then the Bolide 31. And the Bolide 31 never made it into a clutch version, which is very rare for Hermes not to happen. But instead, they made these little travel cases, which are pretty much an exact replica of the Bolide bag. They have the exact same stitching, the exact same construction. The zipper that it features is very similar to the one that the bags have. So this is very similar to the Bolide. And what I really like about this is that you can wear this as a clutch bag, you can wear this as a pouch, you can use this to store your makeup inside of another bag, or you can just have it as a little catch-all inside of any bag that you want to. But I personally have worn this, I don't even know how many times. This is probably one of my most used bags from Hermes because it really fits all your necessities. It comes in a couple of different sizes. So this is the mini. There's also the medium as well as a larger size. The larger is quite big. So you can really buy whichever you want and whichever suits your needs. I personally love the mini version, so I have a couple of these. And then I also have, I think, the medium size in orange, but it's in one of my suitcases. But if you guys are interested in how I wear this, I'm going to have linked my Hermes entry-level bags video up there. And I even show you guys how you can wear this as a crossbody bag. It is a great piece. It's very well priced, especially for what you get. So if you're looking for your first piece to pick up from Hermes, then I would highly recommend that you look into this. The second bag is actually one that I had a look at towards the beginning of the year. But at the time, it was only available in more vivid colors. And if you know me, I personally mainly collect black bags. But I actually noticed that now it's available in black as well as off-white. So I definitely am considering picking up one and adding one to my collection. And it is from Bottega, and it's inspired by their iconic pouch. But it's called the Charm Coin pouch. And it's this tiny little version of the original pouch. It comes with a longer strap that allows you to either wear it as a necklace, which I personally wouldn't do. I would just either wrap it around my wrist, or I would just put the strap inside of the bag and I would just have it as a little clutch bag. And it does actually fit a lot. It fits more than some of the other mini bags out there. It would definitely fit some cash, coins, obviously, as the name suggests. I think it could fit a credit card, but don't quote me on that. When I had a look at it, I didn't try because they told me it was only available in orange and pink, so I didn't have a closer look. But I really did like the size and the way it looked. It was much more reasonable than some of the other mini bags out there, as I mentioned. So it is one that I'm definitely going to have a look at. It comes in the smooth calfskin, which gives this bag a really supple and cloud-like look that I really appreciate. And it is just very much on trend. I mean, what more could you ask for than a Bottega bag in a mini version? It's basically Instagram dreams. It's everything that's trending on social media right now. And I do really like the look. I never thought that I would invest in a Bottega piece because those pouches that are super on trend are over or about $3,000, I think. So I never thought that I would want to spend that much money on a Bottega piece that's very seasonal. But the price of the Bottega charm is, I think, around $600, between $600 and $650. So I do think it's quite reasonable. It's adorable. You can wear it by itself, or you can add it as a little charm to one of your larger bags. So if you're someone who has been considering buying into the whole Bottega trend, I would recommend that you start by looking at the coin purse. And maybe if you find that you use it on a regular basis, you can perhaps add a more expensive piece to your collection. At least that's what I would do. And not to mention that you would kill two birds with one stone because you're buying into the Bottega trend, but you're also adding a super cool and functional mini bag to your collection. Next up is a piece that I recently talked about in my Chanel shopping video. The bag that I'm talking about is the mini Vanity bag, which has been super popular. It's a bag that comes in 3 different sizes. I'm going in between the smallest one, which is more of a square shape, and then the medium size, which is more elongated. The reason why I'm leaning towards the medium size is because it's more flat on the back. So I find that if a bag has a flat back, it's going to sit much nicer on your body if you want to put it on crossbody. But if it's more of a square shape, it might move around a bit. But anyway, I would be happy with either one. And I'm sure that the medium size would fit a credit card. And that's pretty much the single most important thing for me for a bag to fit a card. Because, you know, if it fits a credit card, it's going to fit your ID, it's going to fit a subway card. And what more do you really need? You can put your phone in your pocket or you can hold it in your hand. So that's really the main consideration that I have when I'm looking at buying a new bag. And I think it's also well priced. The smallest size, I think, starts at about $1,300 and it moves up in price as you obviously go up in size, but only by a couple $100s. So hopefully it will still be available when the stores reopen. Next up, we have a bag here that I again talked about in the previous video of mine. And it is from Louis Vuitton and it's their Miniboss chapeau. I told you guys that I'm thinking about picking up that bag, and I actually reached out to my essay, my Louis Vuitton essay, right after that video. And what I like about the Miniboss chapeau is that, first of all, it's very Louis Vuitton because of the print and the structure. It's inspired by their traveling heritage. I believe it was inspired by, and the name suggests that it was inspired by the hat box. So I really like the story and the history behind it. It also comes in the monogram, which I find can look great on some pieces and it can look a little odd and cheap on some others. My thinking is that I would buy a piece in the Louis Vuitton monogram if it's a newer, more innovative style, because I think they kind of balance each other. But if it's one of the traditional size, I would opt for maybe their epi-leather or a different print that they have. But I do really like the Miniboss chapeau in the Louis Vuitton monogram. And again, it is a piece that comes in a bunch of different sizes and even structures. There are pieces that are more supple and there are pieces that are a little bit more boxy and structured. I am thinking about picking up the more supple version in the PM size, which I think is about the 3rd size. There are 2 sizes that are much smaller. You can even go as small as buying it in a necklace version, which is adorable. Or you can go for the mini version, which is more structured, that you can either wear as a crossbody bag, or you do have the option to put it on a belt and wear it as maybe a waist bag. And last but not least, the most expensive item out of the bunch, which I think is quite justified, is from Dior, and it's their Dior Remova collaboration personal clutch. I personally love this bag. I had a chance to wear this a couple of times before we were asked to stay at home. and it's just so incredibly useful. It really fits all your necessities, but it's not overwhelming. You can wear this as a clutch bag, or you can have this as a crossbody piece. It does come with a shoulder strap. And again, this is a piece that I have an entire video on, which I'm going to have linked up here in case you want a more in-depth review. But I just wanted to update you guys that I have really been happy with this, and surprisingly it's still available online. This was supposed to be an extremely limited collection. You were asked to pre-order this and put down a deposit, and then they were supposed to send it to you. But month later, it's still available online. So I have no doubt that you can still get this bag. One thing that I want to say is that if you're going to buy this, maybe think about opting for one of the lighter versions, because I mentioned to you guys in my review video that I have some experience with Rimowa suitcases, and the black ones that have this coating do chip, and this one also chips. I wore this a couple of times and there's already a huge streak on it where the paint or the coating chipped. So if you're not someone who cares about that, then don't let that bother you. And I have been really happy with this. So if you're trying to buy a bag that you can use on a daily basis, it's not too small, then this is really something that I would recommend that you look into. And this is it, guys. This completes my video on my favorite mini bags. I hope you found this video fun, and I would love to hear what your favorite mini bags are. If you would consider picking up any one of these, or if you have a favorite in your collection that you would recommend that I look at. And if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.